Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're tackling something that's, well, completely hidden from view, right up until it goes disastrously and usually expensively wrong. We're looking at the anatomy of a Kansas City plumbing crisis. Because honestly, a house in this specific region isn't just sitting on a plot of land, it's actively battling this unique combination of geographical and historical factors from right beneath its foundation. If you own property around here, what we're about to uncover is absolutely vital to understand. That is, unless you actually enjoy taking expensive midnight swims in your basement.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's kind of one of the most frustrating mysteries for local homeowners, right? Like, why is it that the plumbing in stunning, historic neighborhoods, we're talking Waldo, Brookside, and Prairie Village, seems to just inevitably break down? People buy these gorgeous homes, and then bam, suddenly they're dealing with a massive underground emergency. But here's the thing, it's not just bad luck, and it's definitely not random. There is a precise science behind exactly why these specific pipes have an expiration date.
So here's our roadmap for the Explainer today. We're going to start with the Kansas City Plumbing Challenge, and then move on to 4 common local pipe problems. After that, we'll walk through the 3-step fix process, look at technical standards and city codes, and finally, wrap up with how you can actually protect your plumbing investment.
All right, Section 1, the Kansas City Plumbing Challenge. Let's look at what's happening underground.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core of the issue. To really understand the challenge, you have to look at the environment. Kansas City experiences these incredibly dramatic, extreme seasonal swings. We're talking plunging winter temperatures dropping way below freezing, completely flip-flopping to brutal summer heat that routinely pushes past 95 degrees. This constant, aggressive temperature fluctuation, it creates a severe freeze-thaw cycle in the ground, and that wreaks absolute havoc on underground pipes, basically forcing them to expand and contract over and over until they just finally give out.
But honestly, the weather is only half the battle. Think about this. When you combine that shifting clay soil, which, by the way, holds moisture right against your foundation walls and ramps up hydrostatic pressure so it acts like a giant invisible vice grip squeezing your pipes, with the region's historical housing stock, well, you get a perfect storm for plumbing decay. In historic districts like Hyde Park or the Northeast Corridor, a lot of homes are still relying on original cast iron drain lines from the 1940s and 50s, and those are literally corroding from the inside out. Throw in Kansas City's moderately mineral-heavy hard water, accelerating sediment buildup, plus high humidity causing hidden condensation in crawl spaces. Frankly, it's a miracle these systems function as long as they do.
Moving right along to Section 2, 4 common local pipe problems. Let's look at the actual casualties of these environmental threats. So the crucial point is that every single local pipe casualty connects directly back to a geographic threat. Sewer backups? Yeah, that's the shifting clay soil cracking pipes, leaving them wide open for tree roots to invade. Burst lines? Those are the direct casualties of our plunging winter freezes. Water heater failures happening way prematurely. You can thank the mineral-heavy sediment and the local water supply for that. And those persistent, super annoying drain clogs that just keep coming back, that's the rough, corroding interior of those 1940s cast iron pipes catching debris.
To really grasp the severity here, let's just consider the burst line for a second. In the dead of a Kansas City winter, exposed pipes in unheated garages, exterior walls, or crawl spaces, they are going to freeze. The water inside turns to ice and violently expands, literally splitting open copper and PEX lines. But, and here is the kicker, the real crisis doesn't actually happen when it freezes. It happens when it thaws. The ice melts, and suddenly you have unrestricted water pressure just flooding into your basement or crawl space. We're talking thousands of dollars in water damage in a matter of minutes. It's a total nightmare.
All right, Section 3, the 3-step fix process. Let's shift gears and look at how the professionals actually handle this.
So when things go south, Silverline Plumbing operates on a really transparent blueprint to just remove the panic. Step 1 is contact and dispatch. They send out a fully stocked truck, always prioritizing active emergencies. Step 2 is diagnosis and approval. They actually find the root cause, not just treating the symptom, and they give you an upfront price before a single wrench is even turned. Finally, Step 3 is repair and verification. They make the fix using commercial-grade parts and rigorously test it before calling the job done.
What truly makes this whole process work is the total transparency. They offer 24/7 emergency response because, let's face it, pipes don't exactly wait for convenient business hours to burst, right? But more importantly, they use upfront flat rate pricing. They price by the job, not by the hour, so you're never penalized if a repair just happens to take a little longer than expected. There are no hidden fees, no surprise charges. Plus, the plumbers give you clear, plain English explanations of exactly what failed and why. It completely takes the anxiety out of an already super stressful emergency.
Which brings us to Section 4, Technical Standards and City Codes. Let's talk about the rules of professional plumbing.
Now, you might be sitting there wondering, hey, can't I just patch a pipe myself? Well, professional plumbing is vastly different from your average weekend DIY project. All professional work absolutely must meet the International Plumbing Code, along with very specific local Kansas City amendments. And this isn't just annoying red tape. Proper permitting and code compliance are absolutely crucial. Kansas City requires permits for things like water heater replacements, gas line installations, major modifications, you name it. If you try to do this work without permits, it can actually delay or completely ruin the future sale of your property when an inspector spots unpermitted work. Doing it to code literally protects your home's value.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that number right there, 150 psi. That is the sheer immense stress these systems are tested under by professionals. Listen, before a licensed plumber closes up a wall or pours concrete over a new pipe, they conduct a serious pressure test. They'll test water supply lines at 150 psi for a minimum of 15 minutes. They are inspecting every single joint and connection to verify zero leakage. It's an exacting standard, but it's required to ensure your home is actually safe from future water damage.
And meeting those codes, it also means selecting the exact right materials for our local infrastructure. Professionals don't just grab whatever pipe happens to be on sale at the hardware store. They use PEX for water supply runs because of its freeze resistance and flexibility, which is crucial for Kansas City winters. They use copper for exposed locations and gas lines. PVC is the gold standard for residential drains, waste, and vents. And interestingly enough, they still use modern cast iron in multi-story buildings. Why? Specifically for its superior sound dampening qualities, because honestly, nobody wants to hear the upstairs bathroom flushing while they're eating dinner in the dining room. Every single material serves a highly specific, calculated purpose.
Finally, Section 5, Protecting Your Plumbing Investment. Let's talk about the power of proactive maintenance. 80 psi. If your home's incoming city water pressure is sitting anywhere above 80 psi, it has crossed a very dangerous threshold. This excessive pressure quietly acts like a battering ram against your plumbing system, day in and day out. Over time, it stresses pipe joints, causes your appliances to fail way early, and just generally wears out your fixtures long before their time.
The normal, safe water pressure for a residential home actually ranges from 40 to 60 psi. But hey, the good news is you can easily take control of this. You can grab a simple, super inexpensive water pressure gauge from literally any local hardware store, attach it right to your outdoor spigot, and test it yourself. If you find your pressure is pushing past that 80 psi danger zone, you really need to have a professional plumber install a pressure regulator near your main water line. It'll protect your entire system.
Beyond just checking your pressure, sticking to a specific maintenance schedule is, without a doubt, your best defense against those midnight emergencies. Experts strongly recommend an annual general plumbing inspection. However, if you live in a home that's over 40 years old, which is a lot of homes in Kansas City, you should really bump that up to twice yearly checks, just because of those aging pipes. You absolutely must flush your water heater yearly to clear out that heavy local mineral sediment we talked about earlier. And lastly, if you've got large trees in your yard, get a camera inspection of your sewer lines every 2 to 3 years. You want to catch those root intrusions way before they cause a sewage backup in your house. So we've covered the shifting clay, the freezing winters, and the aging cast iron that make Kansas City plumbing such a wild ride, along with the exact methods professionals use to keep everything flowing safely. But at the end of the day, the health of your home system ultimately rests in your hands. So I want to leave you with this to think about today. Are silent leaks right now driving up your monthly water bill without you even realizing it? And seriously, when was the last time you actually checked your home's water pressure? It might just be time to find out before your basement decides to do it for you. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I'll see you next time.